Give us just a second more, ladies and gentlemen. We apologize. We ran a little bit over at our pre-commission meeting, and we're just now trying to come out and assemble, but we'll start momentarily, and I apologize for the delay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Government Center. I'd like to call this meeting of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to order. This is our regular meeting for Tuesday, January the 16th. I want to welcome each and every one of you here. We're delighted that you're here to witness Macon-Bibb County government in operation and kind of catch up and see what's going on here. We will proceed through the agenda, and as is our custom, we will start this meeting with an invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. So would you please stand as you are able for the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Let us pray. Oh, gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you, we praise you, we magnify your name. We thank you for this opportunity to gather together, heart to heart, breast to breast, and shoulder to shoulder, as leaders and citizens, God, to work out your future, your plan, your agenda, God. Now, God, we pray that everyone will be on one accord, God, that we can make decisions that's conducive to the betterment of this community, God. We pray for our leaders, God. We ask that you constantly give them godly wisdom and guidance on how to govern your people. And God, we pray that everything will be said will be edifying to you on tonight, God. We thank you and we praise you. It is in Jesus' name we pray. And the saints of God said amen.
Amen.
And amen.
Will y'all please say the Pledge of Allegiance with me? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. Our invocation tonight was given to us by Reverend Henry Kennedy, who is the pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church here in Macon. Reverend Henry Kennedy was recently called to serve as the senior pastor of the historic Ebenezer Baptist Church of Macon, Georgia. Prior to serving as senior pastor of Ebenezer, he served as minister of congregational care for both campuses at Beulah Land Bible Church. He's a graduate of Fort Valley State University, presently enrolled at Mercer University McAfee School of Theology, pursuing his master's degree. Seeks to empower the people of God through declaring the gospel. Native of Oak Grove, Louisiana, and has been married to Vanita Kennedy for 28 years. To their union, got 3 children born. His vision for Ebenezer is one of strength, unity, and moving forward. Pastor Kennedy, thank you very, very much. We appreciate it. I understand you got a Bible study and got to run, but we appreciate you being here. The Pledge of Allegiance was given by one of our GCAPS students. GCAPS is a Georgia Civic Awareness Program for students, GCAPS. And it's high school students from every school, public and private, throughout Bibb County that come together for a year and learn more about local government. Charles Coney, our assistant county manager, does an excellent job of managing the GCAPS program for us. And tonight, we were led in the Pledge of Allegiance by Christiana Hughes. Christiana, you still here? Oh, there you are. Stand up for us. Christiana is a senior at Howard High School, where she has honors in chemistry. She also volunteers at the Aunt Louise Hose with the campus club. That's bound to be house. Aunt Louise House? Yeah, I figured. And with the campus club, Christiana believes, quote, "The reason civic education is important for today's youth is to bring a better understanding of the critical role each of us play in governing our city. The most important privilege is the right to vote," unquote. Christiana hopes to learn more about government and how it impacts the daily lives of its citizens and their communities. Christiana, congratulations to you on your honors out there at Howard. Keep doing good things, and we appreciate you being here with us tonight. Next on our agenda is actually an addition to tonight's agenda. We at pre-commission looked at an item of new business, and it is somewhat time sensitive. This is a resolution of support of Motivating Youth Foundations Incorporated, What If It Was Your Child program, and its efforts to rehabilitate former gang members and to increase access to employment training and employment opportunities among underprivileged or troubled young adults. I need a motion to add that to this agenda for tonight. Motion by Commissioner Schlesinger, second by Commissioner Jones. Further discussion about adding it to the agenda? Hearing none, it is added, and it'll be at the last. Unfortunately, Roger, you're going to have to sit here with us for a while. But we'll hurry to try to get to you. But that'll be item L, I believe. Item N under old business as an addition to the agenda for tonight, for action tonight. Next on our agenda is approval of previous minutes. The minutes of our pre-commission meeting of December 19th and our regular commission meeting of December 19th were distributed. I need either change or correction or a motion to approve as printed. Got a motion and by Schlesinger, second by Bechtel, to approve the minute, both sets of minutes as issued. All in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and both sets of minutes are approved. Next, we've got a very important presentation. We have invited tonight the 2017 AAU 12 and under national champions to come and be with us tonight. I understand the head coach, Adonis Hollingshed. Are you here, sir? Would you please come to the podium and tell us a little bit more about your championship team and introduce them to us, please, sir, and along with your coaching staff. We are so proud of you, we just hardly know what to do.
Thank you. Excuse me. Macon United is a travel team under Macon-Bibb County, under Brittany Fletcher, Daryl McNeil, and under Robert. Nope. I mean, I won't sit up here and talk all night. I know y'all got a lot of things to do. We talk about daily in the practices. We talk to these kids about making the right decisions in life. This is more than football. We just want them to let them know that they can do anything that they can. This is their first step. I don't want you from now on to say I can't. I want you to say I will from now on, okay? Y'all got it? Nobody ever thought we was going to be here. I didn't ever think I would ever. I've been coaching for 20 years. Never thought I would be standing up and saying we won a national championship. Not from a little bit of time I'm Macon, Georgia. We appreciate all the support. We've been getting congratulations from all over from Macon. Everywhere I go, I see somebody, congratulations. And that's what it's all about in these youth. Instead of, you always hearing something about negative stuff. They killing each other, gangs. You don't have to do that. And the reason why I want y'all to come down here, dressed up tonight. Usually we be laid back or whatever. Just I'm getting y'all ready for the news conference after the NFL game, so y'all will know how to dress. All right. So this part one. So never say I can't. It's gonna be always I will. All right. Now we want to let me introduce my coaches. Without these coaches, it wouldn't be possible. It take a lot. We had like 20-some, 50-some kids to try at the beginning of the season. And these coaches out here get their time. They get off the work, mess up relationships because you don't spend enough time with your old lady. It takes a lot. You don't get paid for it. I mean, we love to do it. If we don't do it, nobody won't do it. So we're gonna keep on doing it until we can't do it anymore. I got Coach. Y'all come introduce yourself.
Coach Travis Fuller.
Coach Ignacio Dilmar.
Ron Miley.
Coach Chris Gray. Green.
Coach George Bond.
Coach Rominsky Williams.
Coach Bernard Rivers.
And
Y'all,
again,
y'all deserve a hand. I tell you what, y'all deserve a hand. Thank y'all very, very much. That's wonderful. And was that a team mom?
yes,
Coach?
we have team. Well, bring our team moms over here. Miss Kawanjalyn Sellers and Lisa Bond.
Hey, they gotta have team mom.
And again, I want to say thank you to Macon-Bibb Parks and Rec. They supported us 100% this year, and we continue to want to work with them in the future. Y'all give a shout out to Macon-Bibb Parks and Rec. First player will be Jaden Barker.
And when you get your certificate, would you just stand here in the front here and y'all line up just like you're sitting? Just, a couple of rows right here in the front.
William Balcom. Javius Bond. Malik Bronner.
Hey.
Austin Denson. Dominic Fairclough. Hey, Roman Hanelia. Brian Jackson. Davion Lundy. Jaquavius Marshall. Don Juan McGee.
All right.
Levante Miley. Kimarion Pitts. Michael Preston. Zion Reagans. Travion Searcy. Carlos Sellers. Jamari Shine. Cameron Thomas. Galvin Williams. Davion Hopkins. Congratulations, MU.
Y'all give it up now. Here they are. Y'all give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Yes, sir. Who's?
I want to let everybody know at least the state of Georgia has one national champion.
All right.
Just to give a bit of information, and Adonis, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but they played Newark, New Jersey in the championship game, but the game before the championship went into double overtime.
Oh, wow.
And they won 12-6. But as a token of appreciation, each one of these kids is also sporting the national championship ring that I purchased. So they have a ring to always take around with them and show that they're national champions. All the coaches have it as well as the kids. So they have those rings that the Parks and Recreation Department purchased for them. So they have them to take them around and be able to show off in school and at least put it on their coffee table or their side table or on their bed or whatever they want to do with it. But they have something showing that they are national champions for 2017 AAU.
Congratulations. Congratulations, y'all. Coach, thank you very much for getting everybody here. We really do appreciate that. And congratulations to the coaches, congratulations to the team moms, and congratulations to the players. We're mighty proud of you. And I adopt 100% what your coach said. Don't ever say I can't. Say I will, and you can do it. Congratulations.
And one last thing, I do want to commend two of my staff members. They traveled to Orlando as well as accompanied this team every time they went out of town to a trip. Mr. Darryl McNeely, who was here today, he's one of our part-time workers, and he accompanied them to Florida. As well as Joshua Dean. Unfortunately, he can't be here. He's a grad student at Georgia College, and he runs the writing lab there as well. So he works for us. He's a part-time employee. But they put a lot of time in with these kids, as well as the coaches, the team moms, and to make sure they were prepared to go and play. And like I said, a lot of people doubted them and said they would not accomplish this goal. But Coach Adonis did tell me last year, they placed third last year, if I'm not mistaken, that he was going to win this year. So I watched the live stream, and I called him right before the championship game and told him congratulations on making the championship, and let the team know I was supporting them all the way. So they did not turn me into what the people call naysayers. I'm glad they was able to represent our city and bring it home.
Hey.
All right.
Congratulations again.
And I would like to ask if they could leave. I'm pretty sure they have. Oh, they don't have school tomorrow, do they? So you can't say homework.
I don't know. We don't call that now. We don't call that, but stay tuned to the weather forecast.
Hey, y'all have school, so I do want to say ask if they can leave, so they can get home, eat dinner, do homework, and be prepared for school tomorrow.
That's right. Y'all are welcome to stay. Obviously, stay as long as you like. But if you need to leave, you're certainly able to leave as well. So, but thank you very much for being here, Coach. We appreciate you getting the team here. Thank you very much. Next item on our agenda is public comments on agenda items, and there are several people that want to talk to us tonight about that. So I'll give me just a half a second to let some folks clear out. Wow. Everybody left. All right, just in the order that they were handed to me, Roger Jackson is here to talk about motivating youth and what if it was your child program. Ms. Jackson, you're recognized for 5 minutes. So since this is on our agenda, this is the time that you can talk to us before we vote. You are recognized for 5 minutes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thanks for giving us the opportunity to come here and represent What If It Was Your Child. To Macon-Bibb government, to the city, motivating youth, and What If It Was Your Child / Macon Future Program. Community violence, unemployment in Bibb County. The problem. During the last few years, Macon-Bibb County has experienced an unusual amount of violence in the form of murders, 30 in 2017, aggravated assault, robberies, and home invasion. We believe that many of these crimes are the result of high unemployment among uneducated people with criminal background, with criminal records in our community. Unfortunately, many of these people did not achieve at a competent reading level in elementary and middle school. Later, they are unable to keep up with the progressive requirement of high school and subsequently dropping out of school in the 9th or 10th grade. So now, we have this equation in place. Can't read, no high school diploma, equals no jobs, no money. In our discussion with these young people over the last couple of months, some have admitted to being involved in gang activity. Consequently, these young people think they can survive. They can survive by formerly taking someone else's hard-earned money and possession through criminal activity. Realistically, if a person does not have at least a GED or high school diploma, they can't survive or strive in this fast-paced technological society. Solution. We come before you tonight to request that you, as leaders of Macon-Bibb government, join us in addressing this problem. You must know that no person or area of Macon-Bibb County is exempt from becoming victim to violent crimes. We pay as a community with increased taxes to incarcerate, support fatherless children, and hire additional law enforcement. We believe the first step in decreasing violent crimes and unemployment among this population is access to education / GED, certified job training, and modifying the response to some negative criminal background issues that hinders their employability. We will accomplish this by partnering with Central Georgia Technical College, Job Corps, DHS Fatherhood Program, Workforce Development, and the Department of Community Supervision. We've already have verbal agreements in place with these agencies. These agencies will provide GED program completion as priority, 10 certification programs, etc., warehouse, forklift operator, etc., that are 3 to 16 weeks in length. Participants may enroll in multiple programs simultaneously. Training, interviewing skills, completing applications and resumes, appropriate workplace behavior. Participants, in our recent conversation with these young people, we have shared the above solution with goals of making them responsible, employed, and taxpayers. Some of the challenges identified by these young adults are on probation, high school dropouts, low literacy level, criminal records, recently released from jail. Fortunately, the young men and women have expressed a sincere desire to change their lives by completing their education, getting certification in job programs, and getting a job. Over 300 people have proven their interest by completing pre-application forms. 3 meetings with 100 plus in attendance at Rosie Jackson, Frank Johnson Community Center, and Central Georgia Tech. Community supervision has committed over 100 of their probationaries to attend the meetings at Central Georgia Tech this past Friday. We only advocate today for these young people because we believe they deserve a second chance or even a third chance, like many others in this community have received, either openly or behind the scene. We believe these young people can meet the needs of new employers like Amazon, Irving Consumer Products, which are located in the industrial area in South Bibb County. Macon-Bibb government would like you, as our government leaders and managers of our tax dollars, to address these issues. We're asking the city government to endorse this initiative. Help us get the message out that this group of individuals need an opportunity to work. We need to attack this social injustice another way through putting people to work. Closing, we have a great opportunity to help others improve the quality of life for individuals, families, and our community. We hope you will join us in this effort.
Mr. Jackson, thank you very much. We appreciate your explanation, appreciate you being here, appreciate what you do at Motivating Youth Foundation, and wish you the best of luck with this. We also have Troy Dillard that I think wants to talk to us about this same thing. Mr. Dillard? Good. You are recognized for 5 minutes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
And thank you for allowing me to take a moment of your time to share the vision of what if it was your child. A lot of the things that you're going to hear are some of the things that Roger just reiterated on, but honestly, we just want to make sure that we got under the 5-minute time. Under the 5 minutes, so some things that I will share would be some things that he's already mentioned in a slight way. The organization was formed in response to the recent escalation in the crime rate and deaths of young African Americans, males that are in the city of Macon and Bibb County. This has become an immediate issue that requires all of unite and address in order for our city and county to thrive. It is our belief that the spike in crime is a direct result of a feeling of hopelessness and despair that exists in the African American neighborhoods, which is directly related to social issues of unemployment, unskilled, and untrained workers. The current population of Macon-Bibb County is slightly over 91,000 citizens, which is approximately 28,000 are African American males. The graduation rate for Bibb County schools, which is only recently increased to 75%, includes only a 43% graduation rate for those with learning disabilities. The largest subgroup of students with disabilities is African American. The median income for Macon-Bibb County is $35,568. To qualify for a free meal, free lunch, income must be under $15,171. And again, the largest subgroup of students qualifying for free and reduced lunch are African Americans. African Americans are most likely the ethnic group to be impoverished in Macon and Bibb County. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the homicide rate for Macon-Bibb County was 30 for 2017, 20 for 2016, and 28 for 2015. Of the 20,295 arrests for violent crimes in 2016, 14% of them were for aggravated assaults committed by persons in the age group of 22 to 29 years old. Of these 20,295 arrests for aggravated assaults, 9,854 were committed by African Americans and 7,289 by African American males. There's a direct link between the number of males from economically impoverished neighborhoods, males that did not complete high school, and the number of arrests for violent and non-violent crimes in Macon-Bibb County. Based on these statistics and feedback from community meetings held between the months of October, November, and December of 2017, members of What If It Was Your Child is asking the Commissioner of Bibb County to support the community's effort in providing resources and training and unemployment options for underskilled, uneducated African Americans, which includes persons with criminal records. It is our belief that providing employment options, we will eliminate hopelessness that often leads to a life of crime in Macon-Bibb County.
Thank you
for
very
this
much, Mr. Dillard. We appreciate you being here and appreciate your passion and presenting that information for us. Next, we have Sarah Hunt. Ms. Hunt, are you here? Oh, there you are, okay. Ms. Hunt wants to talk to us about agenda item L, which is the OLOST item, I believe. Thank you, Ms. Hunt. You recognized for 5 minutes. Please be sure and adjust that microphone down so we can hear you.
Thank you. Again, I'm talking about the OLOST. You have already got us strapped with the ETAC, E-SPLOS, the SPLOS that we just did on the last election, T-SPLOS, and now you want us to do OLOS. You're not managing the money that we're already giving you properly, but you want to strap us with another penny. When we agreed to go to the polls, I got out and campaigned for the SPLOS. Oh, please sign, vote for it, because that's going to they're not going to raise our taxes. And what did you do? You've raised our taxes. You raised the garbage fees. And then now you want us to pay a garbage fee for work that's not even done. The OLOS in these other cities that I researched, they don't have all these other SPLOSes that we do. They have the OLOS, and they run the entire structure out of that one tax, that OLOS. We cannot afford it. If you think I'm kidding, and the people will follow my lead, if every black person, every poor person in Bibb County not shop for 1 week, for 1 month, we'll close these stores down. So you need to think about what you're doing to the poor people in Bibb County. We're already doing all we can. Utilities are up. We've given you the money that you asked for. The oversight of the SPLOS that we've already given you is not going well. Because when you look at the road construction that was done on Forest Hill Road, the curvings, the sidewalks, the pavement, everything is perfectly done. But when you look at the paving and the work that was done on Log Cabin Drive, drive down it. The section between Hollisworth Road and Windy Hill Apartments driveway is not properly put sidewalks. There's no drain tiles there. When it rains, it fills up with water. That's not supposed to be. That section need to be completed in the same manner that all of the other sections of the road is completed. That's the only section on Log Cabin that's not properly done. And where does it sit? Right in front of the homes of black citizens. That's saying to me that if I give you some OLOS money, it's not going to benefit me. It's not going to benefit my people. So when you are doing these taxes and you're deciding on the projects and everything that you're going to do with them, do them fair. Now, I have to compliment Mr. Bechtel. He's my district leader, and he has made sure that Forest Hill Road is done properly. Well, what do you know about roads, Sarah Hunt? When I was 9 years old, I had to mix mortar for my uncle and those when they did sidewalks because I was the oldest and the boys was too young to go to work with them. They built sidewalks, bridges, and highways. The company that they worked for. So when you're asking us to give you more money, for what? For you to do the same thing you're doing now, mismanaging. Spent $2.5 million over there on a bridge for Mercer, and I sat there one day for 6 hours. Then but 2 students crossed the bridge. The children came out the apartment, walked down to the corner, and walked across the road. Splice money. Walked across the road. Came out the apartment, walked to the next corner, walked across the road. I stopped them. I said, they got a bridge there for you to go across so you don't have to cross the road. It's easier for me, they say, for me to come out the apartment and walk on down the corner than to go on that bridge and then got to walk down all those steps. Wasted money. Now you're in a deficit. You're trying to pull every trick you can to get the money to continue running on. But that's not going to happen. I can promise you that. You can get the legislator to put the OLAS on the ballot, but this is one time. I might die and go in my grave because I'm not doing well. But I ask God to keep me here to fight that OLAS. It will not pass. I've already started gathering volunteers. We started making signs. Say no to OLAS. Thank you.
Ms. Hunt, thank you for being here. This is not a question and answer time, so we don't typically give responses to issues that are raised. This is your time to talk to us, and we appreciate you being here and sharing your opinions, and would just urge everybody to learn more about the OLOST. Duncan Soror is also here and wants to talk to us about the OLOST and the Macon Transit System, I believe. Mr. Soror, thank you very much for being here. Thank you for your patience. You're recognized for 5 minutes, sir.
Well, as you said, you don't answer specific questions, and I guess Ms. Hunt already addressed a lot that had to do with OLOST more specifically. I guess I was just curious in general. So for the $18,000 for the Macon Transit System route modernization, what exactly do you mean by modernization? Will there be more buses? Will there be more routes? Will the routes be different? Will they be longer? Will it be shorter? Will there be more bus stops? Will there be going to places they don't normally go? I mean, obviously, I can't ask for a route that's specifically convenient for what I need because, I mean, it's public transportation. But just, like I said, I know I can't really ask for a specific answer, but I just want to be reassured that whatever money goes to the modernization is just practical and efficient. And whether that means...
I think I can tell you this much, and you're welcome to listen as we get to that agenda item, to the discussion that goes on around the horseshoe, but I think I can tell you this much. It's an $18,000 grant to really just diagnose the problem and see whether or not the routes need to be changed or what. So it's a grant to kind of investigate. It wouldn't actually implement anything, but would investigate is my understanding of it. But you're welcome to listen to the additional discussion. Commissioner Watkins, did you have something to add here?
Refer to it later.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here with us, Mr. Sproul. We appreciate your patience and appreciate your passion and being here with us. Now, next item on our agenda are reports from our standing committees. First, I assume that Commissioner Bechtel has got your report and will give the report of operations and finance. Commissioner Bechtel?
Mayor. Operations Finance met on January 9th, 2018, took the following action. Committee approved the purchase and sale agreement with Ready Fitness, Inc. for fitness equipment for the South Macon-Bibb Recreation Center in the amount of $87,542. Approved an agreement with Midstate Striping, Inc. in the amount of $265,379 for the purpose of performing road striping throughout Macon-Bibb County. Hopefully make the roads easier to see and prevent accidents. We approved a lease agreement with Newtown Macon, Inc. for the use of the top level of Mulberry Street parking garage at 448 Mulberry for a car show exhibit to be held on the first Friday of every month through January 2019. We approved an agreement with Data Cloud Solutions, LLC, in the amount of $79,544.87 through June 2021 and $14,062.50 per year thereafter for the creation and maintenance of a cloud-based property tax database for use by the tax assessor's office. Committee also accepted the following grants: a Community Foundation of Central Georgia, Inc. Downtown Challenge Grant in the amount of $11,000 for the Booker T. Washington Center Master Plan, a Community Foundation of Central Georgia, Inc. Downtown Challenge Grant in the amount of $18,000 for the Macon Transit System Route Modernization. Committee also approved the following supplemental budget requests: the appropriation of District 3 blight bond funds from $310,000 to $400,612.29, where the additional funds in the amount of $96,826 shall be used for soft costs related to the construction of a new community center at Kings Park. Also approved the appropriation of District 5 blight bond funds for a total of $174,568 to be used for Hillcrest Park improvements, neighborhood redevelopment, and blight remediation project for playground equipment in that park. We also amended the fiscal year 2018 budget for the purposes indicated to pay for an increase in the dues for the Middle Georgia Regional Commission in the amount of $6,900. We also amended the capital improvement program fiscal year 2018 budget for the purchase of 2 trucks that were budgeted for Public Works Department. We also appropriated $2,300,000 from the solid waste fund balance to pay for the debris and monitoring and removal services from the debris left by Hurricane Irma. So that concludes the report of operations and finance.
Thank you, Chairman Bechtel. Next, we'll have Commissioner Tillman. You got a question? Okay. Next, then we're Economic and Community Development Committee, and that report will be given to us by Chairman Schlesinger. Chairman Schlesinger?
Thanks so much, Mr. Mayor. The Economic and Community Development Committee met on January the 9th, 2018, and the committee heard an update from the Macon-Bibb County Industrial Authority. Chairman Robbie Fountain presented Macon-Bibb County with a check for $272,399, and this concludes my report.
Thank you, Chairman Schlesinger. I understand no report from Public Safety? No report from Public Safety, so that takes us to Facilities and Engineering. Chairman Tillman?
Mr. Mayor, actually, the committee, we have no report, as the county clerk had alluded to and shared with me before the meeting started. But I would offer a motion to move item number N, the motivating youth, what if it was your child, being that resolution has no money attached to it, as do many others on the agenda before it. If we could move that up to item A to go ahead and get that out of the way.
Got a motion and second to just change the order of old business items to move item N, which is the motivating youth resolution, to item A. Just move it to the front. Is there objection? Without objection, then by unanimous consent, we'll just take that one first when we get to old business. Thank you, Chairman Tillman. And no report from Facilities and Engineering. Okay. Next, we have a consent agenda, and on the consent agenda there are 2 new alcoholic beverage license applications that have been submitted. Each of these applications is submitted by the sheriff's certificate of a satisfactory background check on the applicant. Each of these is submitted or is accompanied by the Business Development Service certification that the appropriate license application fees have been paid, a P&Z certificate to certify that they meet planning and zoning requirements, and an engineering form that is signed by the engineer to say that it meets all of the distance requirements as far as separation of the sale of alcoholic beverages from certain prohibited schools and churches and things like that. and a copy of the ad that ran in the. So each of these two applications has all of that certification. The first application is by AMAC Holdings LLC, doing business as Amici, Macon. They are located at 1510 Mercer University Drive, which is right there where that new pedestrian bridge is on Mercer University, in that little shopping center next to the new hotel that was put there because we put the bridge up. The application is for liquor, mixed drinks, beer, wine, and draft beer to be consumed on the premises at that new restaurant, Amici. There. The second one is from Macon, Osaka, Incorporated, doing business as Osaka. They're at 1530 Mercer University Drive, Suite 600, which is that same general area. Again, that is for beer and wine consumed on the premises. Committee of the Whole recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the issuance of those two alcoholic beverage licenses as requested signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and those two licenses will be issued as requested. Next is old business, and pursuant to unanimous consent, we'll look at item N first, and I'll ask the clerk. This is the Motivating Youth and a resolution in support of Motivating Youth Foundation. Ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission in support of Motivating Youth Foundation, Inc.'s What If It Was Your Child program, in its effort to rehabilitate former gang members and to increase access to employment training and employment opportunities among underprivileged or troubled youth, young adults, and for other lawful purposes.
Committee of the Whole recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution. Oh, I'm sorry. Commissioner Watkins, and Tillman, I got your light on first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let me want to ask this entire commission to support this initiative, which I think is probably one of the best ones that I've seen in years. Commissioner Watkins, we know, have been working on similar resolutions and opportunities. And back on October 19th, 2017, Troy Dillard came down to City Hall. Many don't know this, but he approached myself and Commissioner Watkins, and he spent about 4 hours with us that day. I knew he was serious because he was here that day for quite a long time. We were across the hall, and Wanzin and her crew was even in here that evening, and he stayed throughout that meeting talking about what he and others wanted to do in this community. And so Commissioner Watkins joined us and talked about that you guys in the community have to take the initiative, that your government will support you, but we've got to know that folks are serious and to go out and meet. And I think what you see today is what initially happened on October the 19th is him coming down here and forming a group of gentlemen, Antonio Paldo, Johnny Rockmore initially, and they brought in some good folks and had some meetings. And behind the scenes, we would just advise Troy because we wanted to stay out of it. But I knew this group was serious because we work all in our capacity with so many young men and women that often don't take responsibilities. And as we would watch them on social media, and we would tell Troy some of the things that we would see, tell people don't get mad if certain folks didn't show up, just continue to do the work. And so we ran across a comment one day, and this is how we knew this group was serious, when Antonio Paldo, and you don't often have people admit that they've been a problem, and copied down his Facebook, and I'll read it. He says on October 19th, he says, I used to be the problem in Macon. He says, and if I could take it back, I would. But we learn as we get older, and I've been confused for years about why am I still free and here for. He said, I'm here to give back for the damage that I may have caused when I was young. And so he goes on to list men and challenge them to say, take the street back. And a couple of weeks ago, Roger Jackson and our workforce development joined forces. We found out he was on board and others. And this is what you have, a Faye Alexander who's been out here working in these trenches. And this is truly a grassroots organization and group that I think this government can get behind and support, and to say, I think this is the real deal and we need to give it an opportunity. And with Roger Jackson coming on board to lend his nonprofit Motivating Youth for possible funding, because you always have to have a nonprofit or somebody, if somebody shows up and say, we want to fund you and give you some money. And so for him to step forward and offer that piece, I think, was the missing piece. And so I hope and stand here proud that Commissioner Watkins and Commissioner Scotty Shepard supported this initiative, and they got with the attorneys, and this is what we see. And I think this is the real deal, and it has some true teeth. So I hope we can support it.
Thank you, Commissioner Tillman. Commissioner Watkins?
Yeah, and Al did an excellent job of setting the stage. I just want to iterate thank you to the community leaders who showed up with an excellent program. And I think it's a testament of what happens when the grassroots work. You're not seeing, we're trying to come up with solid ideas to address crime, murder, and all the ills of the community. And you're seeing community groups recognize that those are the symptoms, and that improving the lives of the people who live in those communities is what's really vital. Getting back working, getting training, getting jobs, having opportunities to see for yourself as an individual, and for the grassroots to recognize that need and to ask us to do something about it. I think this is a good start for us as a government, but this is what the community is asking us for, and we realize that they've taken it to us about as far as a neighborhood group can take it, in terms of we've got the partnerships and we've got some slots set up. But for a community that is as large as we are, it's going to take us actually putting some more skin in the game and filling this out, making sure that those classrooms are full and that these kids are able to keep on going with their education. So again, thank you for all the work that you've done, and look forward to working with y'all some more in the future.
Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Roger, thank you very much. We appreciate that. And just edification, the resolution reads as follows: whereas the county recognizes that access to employment, training, and opportunities are vital to the success of all adults of working age, whereas the county recognizes that former gang membership or criminal convictions committed by teenagers and young adults, even for minor offenses, which sentences have been fully served, can act to bar citizens of our community from having access to job training programs or employment opportunities, whereas the county recognizes that a lack of access to job training programs or employment opportunities causes citizens to remain trapped in a cycle of poverty, whereas Motivating Youth, nonprofit corporation headquartered in Macon-Bibb, has created What If It Was Your Child program for the purpose of rehabilitating former gang members, otherwise connecting underprivileged, troubled youth in our community with opportunities to develop marketable skills. And whereas What If It Was Your Child program has the further purpose of encouraging local industry to accept rehabilitated gang members or other persons who've been convicted of crime, then later rehabilitated, so as to remove the stigma of gang membership or criminal conviction, promote their employability of all citizens, whereas the resolution will benefit, promote the health, safety, morals, and welfare of the citizens of Macon-Bibb County. Be it resolved that it shall be the policy of Macon-Bibb County Commission and its Macon-Bibb County to support and endorse the efforts of Motivating Youth Foundation What If It Was Your Child program in pursuit of the goals described here and above. Be it further resolved that in the event of scrivener's errors, and be it further resolved, County Commission grants the mayor the authority to take any and all further action necessary to carry out the intents and purposes of this resolution. Be it further resolved that except as specifically provided herein, any and all ordinances, resolutions, or parts of ordinances in conflict with this resolution shall be in the same hereby or repealed, and this resolution shall be in full force and effect. So that's the reading of it, and we appreciate what you're doing for us, Roger. Congratulations and good luck with it. Let us know how we can be of further help and assistance to you. All right. That then takes us now to the next item of old business, which was listed on your agenda as item A. But that's a resolution to purchase some sports equipment for the new South Bibb Recreation. I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to approve a purchase and sale agreement with Ready Fitness, Inc. for fitness equipment for the South Macon-Bibb Recreation Center in the amount of $87,542 to be paid from 2017 SPLOST bond proceeds and for other lawful purposes.
Operations and Finance Committee recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Next is item B, which is a contract with Mid-State Striping to stripe some of our roads where the center lines and fog lines have all but disappeared. And I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with Mid-State Striping, Inc. in the amount of $265,379.60 using funds from the Local Maintenance and Improvement Grant and 2017 SPLOST bond proceeds for the purpose of performing road striping throughout Macon-Bibb County and for other lawful purposes.
Operations and Finance Committee recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Next is a resolution to authorize the execution of a lease agreement for the top floor of the parking garage on Mulberry Street to Newtown, Macon, for a car show on first Fridays, and I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to execute a lease agreement with Newtown Macon, Inc. for the use of the top level of the Mulberry Street parking garage at 448 Mulberry Street for a car show exhibit to be held on the first Friday of every month through January 2019 and for other lawful purposes.
Operations and Finance Committee recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Next is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with Data Cloud to put some additional information from the tax assessor's office into a computer program stored in the cloud, and I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to enter an agreement with Data Cloud Solutions, LLC in the amount of $79,544.87 through June 2021 and $14,062.50 per year thereafter for the creation and maintenance of a cloud-based property tax database for use by the tax assessor's office and for other lawful purposes.
Operations and Finance Committee recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Next is a resolution to accept a grant to us for $11,000 and for the Booker T. Washington Center Master Plan, and I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to accept a Community Foundation of Central Georgia, Inc. Downtown Challenge Grant in the amount of $11,000 for the Booker T. Washington Center Master Plan and other lawful purposes.
Operations and Finance Committee recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Mr. Watkins?
This grant is seeking, well, right now the Booker T. Washington Center has been closed for operations for about a year. As you know, currently Bibb County is in negotiations to address purchasing that property from the friends from Booker T. Washington. And as part of that, it is my hope that we're able to turn that into a more robust community center. As I say, it's been rented out to one tenant. It's about 6,000 square feet. In the hopes that we can find a way to re-engineer that building to allow us for more robust programming over a variety of tenants. So this is for planning for that.
Thank you, Commissioner Watkins. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Next is a resolution to accept another grant to us for the Macon Transit System and route modernization, and I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission authorizing the mayor to accept a Community Foundation of Central Georgia, Inc. Downtown Challenge Grant in the amount of $18,000 for the Macon Transit System route modernization and for other lawful purposes.
The Operations and Finance Committee recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Commissioner Watkins, got your light again.
So the Community Foundation, every year they offer a grant proposal period for community groups for pretty much whatever it is you can come up with. They don't put a cap on it. And traditionally, the Macon-Bibb County acts as a lot of times they don't just do it for nonprofits, but for individuals, you can make a proposal as well. Probably the biggest one you've seen was the Christmas lights display on Poplar Street. But they don't limit you in any types of ways, but you need to create a sense of place. And Macon-Bibb County traditionally acts as the fiscal agent for a lot of those organizations. But we traditionally have never really applied for them. So what you just saw for the Booker T. Washington and this for the route modernization is us attempting to work with the Macon Transit Authority, realizing that the Macon Transit Authority operates 10 routes, and those routes have been the same fixed bus locations since 1999 was the last time that they changed those routes. Since then, you've had new apartment complexes open, new commercial centers open, and there's just a disconnect between where the buses go. And so this is an attempt to figure out how we can better use what we have by either just simple updates of adding more bus stops, taking them away from places where we're not going, and also trying to figure out a way to expand the routes, the system to 7 days a week. There's a lot to do, but this will allow us some professionals to come in and help us plan a little bit better. So that's what this is.
Thank you, Commissioner Watkins. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the resolution is adopted. Next is an ordinance to amend the amount of an appropriation of District 3 Blight Bond Funds for additional funds for the Kings Park Community Center. And I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
An ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission amending 0-16-0074 by increasing the appropriation of District 3 Blight Bond Funds from $310,000 to $400,612.29, where said additional funds in the amount of $96,826.92 should be used for the soft costs related to the construction of a new community center at Kings Park and for other purposes.
Operations and Finance Committee recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the ordinance signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the ordinance is adopted. Next is an ordinance to increase the appropriation of blight bond funds for District 5 project, and I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
An ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to amend 0-16-0076 so as to appropriate an additional $54,819 from District 5 blight bond funds for a total of $174,568.55 to be used for the Hillcrest Park improvements, neighborhood redevelopment, and blight remediation project for playground equipment and for other purposes.
Operations and Finance Committee recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the ordinance signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the ordinance is adopted. Next is an ordinance to amend the 2018 budget for the purposes indicated, and I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
An ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to amend the fiscal year 2018 budget for the purposes indicated in the hereto attached Exhibit A and for other lawful purposes.
The Operations and Finance Committee recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the ordinance signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the ordinance is adopted. Next is an ordinance to amend the capital improvement program, and I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
An ordinance of the Macon-Bibb County Commission to amend the capital improvement program fiscal year 2018 budget for the purposes indicated in the hereto attached Exhibit A and for other lawful purposes.
Operations and Finance Committee recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the ordinance signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the ordinance is adopted. Next is a Committee of the Whole amendment to the ordinance appropriating money to pay for the Hurricane Irma storm debris removal, and I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
An ordinance of the Commission of Macon-Bibb County, Georgia, to appropriate $2,400,000 from solid waste fund balance to pay for the debris and monitoring and removing services attached hereto as supplemental number 2 and for other purposes.
The Operations and Finance Committee originally recommended approval. Subsequently, the Committee of the Whole recommended approval of an additional $100,000 to make the total 2.4. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the ordinance signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the ordinance as amended is adopted. Item L is next, and that is the resolution respectfully requesting assistance from a local legislative delegation in introducing and perfecting legislation regarding the OLOST, and I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission respectfully requesting that the local legislative delegation introduce general legislation during the 2018 session of the Georgia General Assembly to amend OCGA Section 48-8-96 so as to authorize a local referendum to adopt an other local option sales tax, OLOST, in Macon-Bibb County under OCGA Section 48-8-96, and further to introduce local legislation to provide for a local referendum to adopt a homestead exemption to freeze the value of homestead property in Macon-Bibb County subject to an annual change of no more than 2% and for other purposes.
The Committee of the Whole recommends approval. I see several people that want to talk about this. Mayor Pro Tem, I had your light on first, sir.
I have no reason to believe that funds provided to this government will be used in an equitable manner, so I intend to vote against it. Talking about equity and doing it are not the same.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Next, I had Commissioner Tillman.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I really hope people get educated on this OLOS because, I mean, we've got to, this resolution simply is to share with the delegation who is, I believe, a 8-member delegation in the state of Georgia to put it on the ballot. And then it's up to this body, along with community citizens, to work and try to get things on this OLOS. I think what's most imperative in this community is over 60,000 residents who own businesses could possibly be seeing a rollback of anywhere from 4 to 6 mills as this language began to change. And now this new consolidated government, I think this government has been good stewards. You know, it's amazing people, they'll say, well, we needed a log cabin paid. We've been trying to get it for 20, 30 years. And finally, when we do it, you know, people don't realize there's a warranty associated with it. And with most SPLOST projects, from recreation or whatever, we hold people accountable. So if you see an issue, you have to please let us know. Don't get upset with us and want to just share the information with us then. Share the information with everybody, because we have engineers, and so if there's an issue going forward, with whatever the $280 million is going to be collected, the previous $90 million SPLOST that's being collected, it's very imperative to let us know as a government what those issues and concerns are. But, you know, right now, Macon-Bibb government has a splosh in place, and this community can physically see the improvements across this community of recreation centers, road improvements, and things that have been done. Money don't grow on trees. The government don't just grow money. But it's imperative that you as taxpayers understand and truly get educated. Because when we talk about an old loss, if right now we can roll your property taxes back, I think that's going to be an impact. And it has to be a selling point along with some other things, because I want to get educated before I just say don't support something or no, I'm not going to support something. And I think it's important for all of us, whether we support it or not, to be able to properly share it with the community, whether we are for it or against it. So I'm trying to learn as much as possible where I can give people the right information, not just to say I don't want to see it happen. Because if I say that, then I have to have an alternative or plan. And so you just can't say what we don't and what we don't or won't need if we don't have an alternative plan. So please share all the information to the public. So, and if you have an alternative plan, even share that as well, because I think it's important for us to move this community forward and let people see what's happening. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Tillman. Next, Commissioner Allen, got your light on, sir.
Thank you, sir. Most of the people here and most of the people in Macon-Bibb County know how I feel about taxes. I really feel that when you just want to tax somebody, we really have to have the support of the people, especially with OLOST or T-SPLOSH or SPLOSH in general. We really need the people to vote on this, not 9 people up here, the General Assembly. Now, I'm hoping the General Assembly, once we send something to them, they will allow the voters and the people of Macon-Bibb County to vote on this. This is something very important to the people. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to vote, but I do know that this is something that's needed, because I've always been against taxation. But the bottom line is, I hope the General Assembly takes this, what we're going to be sending to them, and they're going to send it back to us to give to the people. I hope they will go ahead and allow the people to be able to vote on this. This is the people's money. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Allen, and I think the attorneys have told us that a public referendum is required. So you can count on that. I think that's everybody's intention, to make this subject to a public referendum. Commissioner Watkins, I got your light on next.
Thank you, sir. I think Ms. Hunt made a lot of good points here earlier today. That we have to realize in Bibb County that a very large section of our citizens are poor. Poverty is a major issue here. And when we talk about the gains of a property tax rollback or a homestead exemption, that doesn't affect or have any immediate impact on more than 50% of our community. For a large body of the people who live in Bibb County, that this could be viewed as a regressive tax, and that it requires a larger level of income, or takes a larger level of income from poor citizens. With that being said, I think when we're tailoring this bill for the state and for referendum, that needs to be taken in consideration. I do think that there are a lot of benefits to the OLOS strategy, but it needs to be considerate to those who are not receiving property tax benefits. Segregating a certain portion of this fund, 20 or 30% for community impact projects, I don't think is unreasonable, to address issues of education, mass transit issues, cultural development, and even blight. So I hope, commissioners, as we go forward and talk about this, that we come up with ways that this can impact and be a positive for all sectors of the community, and not just property owners. So I support this today, and that we need to continue with the process and send this to the legislature, but understanding that we have a lot more work to do to make this something that is sellable to the community as a whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Watkins. And it is my understanding now that the most recent revised language in this resolution that we are considering tonight allocates 50% of the proceeds received from the extra penny sales tax. 50% will be used to roll back property taxes, whether it's on your individual home or your business or whatever. So it rolls back everybody's property taxes by 50% of the amount that's collected. The other 50% would go to support programs and people and personnel, especially recreation programs and all these new recreation centers that are coming online that we're going to have to staff and maintain. This will be funding that we can use, and that benefits everybody. But I agree with you. We do need to be sure that we make intentional decisions about supporting the entire community. Chairman Beckrell, I think that was your amendment that talked about the 50%. Am I right in that? That you're talking about 50% of the amount received?
Yes, in any given year, by the additional penny, if approved by the voters, would be dedicated to property tax rollback.
So when you consider that along with the cap, meaning that your home now, not your business, not rental property, not anything else, but your home that you live in is also subject to a valuation freeze so that it can't go up or down more than 2% in any given year. That's going to provide a lot of relief to people on fixed income and low income, so they know the top property taxes can't go up on their homestead exemption. So I think the more you learn about this and the more you're going to like it. Commissioner Tillman, I got your light on again, sir.
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. I want to ask the county attorney for a clarification, because in listening to Commissioner Watkins has some valid concerns. My initial concern when we first talked about OLOS was, how do we replace the $12 million that comes out of the general fund that go toward outside agencies? So when we talk about the 50%, when is it that we can get specific? Because it's easy to just say 50%, but is it my understanding that we could come back after it's on the ballot and then start to add the meat and potatoes and say, well, we want, for instance, to do away with that $12 million that's being going toward outside agencies, or we want to add a percentage that could go toward blight and community enhancement?
My understanding from
I was asking, all due respect, Mr. Mayor, I was asking the county attorney, because we're not debating this issue, but I just want to clarify through the county attorney.
That would have to be done before you place it on the referendum. You as the body would be specifying the language in the referendum that's going to be presented to the voters to vote upon, and you'd be doing that prior to that.
That's after the delegation has put it on the or approved for it to be on the
Basically, all
referendum.
this does is this puts you in the position where you can come back and determine what it is that you're going to put on that referendum towards the voters to vote. If this does not pass and it's not presented to the legislative body and they don't go ahead and make the approval for these changes, then there will be no referendum. So this sets you up so that you can then come back as a body to come up with the question that's going to be presented to the voters to vote upon.
That answer your question, Commissioner?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Commissioner Walken, got your light back on?
Yeah, and don't want to debate the issue, but I just
Right.
want to make sure the mayor realizes that there are people who live in houses that don't own it, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Right,
That's
right.
rental.
And
That's
about 50% of those people,
rental houses.
Right. So
And they wouldn't get a property tax rollback, nor would the landlord, because it's rental property, it's not his residence. Right.
correct.
Right. No, I understand fully what you're saying, sir. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just inadvertently did.
And again, I think it's important to note that there is a concern that when it comes to transparency, that if it's not enumerated that certain organizations or categories are in the funding stream, that we might run into a problem 4 or 5 years from now, because it's all been rolled into the pension or the healthcare problem or the overage problem. But again, that's for a different day.
Thank you. Commissioner Beckrell, got your light on again, sir.
Just for clarification, the way that we're asking the legislature to amend the general piece of legislation and secondarily pass a piece of local legislation, then that would allow this body then to call for the question on the ballot. The legislature does not call the question for the ballot. That's our responsibility. And second, all property owners who pay property taxes will be the beneficiary of a rollback. Just to clarify what the mayor said, the only people that will be the beneficiary of the freeze is those who have owner-occupied property who claim a homestead exemption. So, just for clarification, it's our responsibility to call the question. And at that time, it would be up to the will of this body to determine what was in that question, whether we chose to silo certain money for certain priorities, as you discussed. That's up to the will of this body when formulating that question.
Thank you, Commissioner Beckel. No other lights on. Assume you're ready to vote. All in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Got one no. Mayor Pro Tem Bivens. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. That brings us now to new business, and there are several items of new business. Oh,
which turned out to be the end.
huh?
You have to do the election.
The Board of Elections.
Oh. Right, yeah. I know it, but it's not here. I just hand it to me if you don't mind. Maybe I've got it back here. Oh, she's got it. There is one more item. I misspoke. There is one more item that was on our agenda, which is item M. There it is, right there. I just jumped over it. I'm sorry. This is a resolution to fix the qualifying fees for the Board of Elections. They're having elections this year and need to set the qualifying fees, and this does it in the same amount as in years previous. And I'll ask the clerk to read that by caption.
A resolution of the Macon-Bibb County Commission establishing and fixing the qualifying fee for each elected county office to be filled in the upcoming 2018 Macon-Bibb County election, requesting the publication of said qualifying fees by the Macon-Bibb County Board of Election no later than February 1st, 2018 in the legal organ of record for Macon-Bibb County and for other purposes.
Committee of the Whole recommends approval. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the resolution signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it, and that resolution is adopted. Thank you all very much for keeping me straight. Now that's the last item of old business, which takes us to new business. There are several items of new business that have been referred, that I'll refer to committee for further study. First, item A is a resolution to recognize the month of February 2018 as Black History Month. I'm going to refer that to the Economic and Community Development Committee. Item B is a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept a Downtown Challenge grant in the amount of $35,000 from the Community Foundation of Central Georgia Incorporated to be used for public art as an economic development project. I'm going to refer that to the, this says Operations and Finance Committee, and I suppose since it's money coming in that it would go to Operations and Finance, but it's a toss-up as to whether it's Economic and Community Development, but I'm going to send it to Operations and Finance. So we'll refer that to Operations. We'll refer that to the Operations and Finance Committee. Item C is a resolution concerning another Downtown Challenge grant in the amount of $10,000 from the Community Foundation of Central Georgia to be used for Bring Back the Mac Party, a back-to-school festival held for local colleges and universities. I'm going to refer that to the Operations and Finance Committee as well for further study. Item D is a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept another Downtown Challenge grant in the amount of $15,000 from the Community Foundation of Central Georgia to be used for Be a Regular campaign to encourage residents of Macon-Bibb County and surrounding area to regularly frequent the downtown area. And I'm going to refer that to the Operations and Finance Committee just so I'll be consistent. If I'm wrong, at least I'm consistent. Item E is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Macon Housing Authority, providing for the joint collaboration and partnership of the HUD required assessment of fair housing. I'm going to refer that to Operations and Finance Committee as well for further study. That ends the reading of new business that has been sent down thus far. I anticipate that additional items will be coming down from the attorney's office during the week, so I would urge you to check the agenda that is published on Friday for items that will be discussed in our committee meeting next Tuesday, the 23rd, beginning at 9 o'clock a.m. Tuesday the 23rd, 9 o'clock a.m. in the committee meeting room back behind us here. That is all of the new business, and that brings us down now to public comments on non-agenda items. And first we've got Gwen Westbrook that wants to talk to us about the mobile home park, Avalon Mobile Home Park. Ms. Westbrook, thank you very much. Come to the podium, please, ma'am, and you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I first want to thank you all for allowing me to speak here this evening. Some months ago, a group of people attended one of the NAACP's meeting in reference to some mobile homes that they had purchased and paid for where they have not been able to get their titles. And I'm here today because even though I know this may be a issue, maybe a concern of them getting their own attorney, but the business that's being done here in Bibb County is not legal. And I'm asking for this government to support the NAACP in getting these people out of town. When we start doing our investigation, as you know, the NAACP handles all different types of issues, housing, no matter what it is, no matter what the issue is, if it's concerning any disparity. These group of people purchased their mobile homes. When we got the complaint, we started investigating, found out that an attorney out of Atlanta actually purchased these mobile homes. In 2015, when I went to the courthouse to do some research because I knew something was not right. If you purchased a mobile home, you should be able to get your title. The owners are out of Atlanta, but they're doing business here in Macon. They borrowed over $1 million and put these mobile homes up for collateral, and then they start selling them to people. And when they purchased them, they have not been able to get their title because whatever bank they borrowed the money from have these people titles held up. I contacted our Commissioner Lucas because that's her district, and we've been meeting. We've met with the district attorney, asking him to prosecute these people because they have these people borrowing, signing purchase agreements, borrowing money that they're not even aware that they've borrowed. When they sign a purchase agreement, they're just signing an agreement that they're purchasing and paying that the amount of money that they're asking for. But then I've gathered all the information, and we're showing that these people actually have loans that they're not even aware that they have with a 15% interest, paying $37,000 back for a $11,000 mobile home. So I know this may be a concern as far as them getting an attorney, which we worked on to do that. Our district attorney called in the Georgia Department of Revenue, the chief investigator, which started investigating this also, and basically sent me emails telling me that these were unlawful acts and that what their charges would be. Then all of a sudden, we didn't hear anything else. So my concern is I think that the reason nothing is being done because this is an attorney out of Atlanta and his father is a former senator. It should not matter who you are. If you're breaking the law, then you should be prosecuted. These people have paid for their mobile homes. Some of them have gotten their title since we've gotten involved, but the thing about it is they can't even get their titles changed over in their names because the owners have not paid the back taxes. So they have a mobile home, which they're still not the owners, but they've paid for it. I'm asking for this government to support the NAACP and making sure that these people get their titles. These people are doing business in Macon-Bibb, and these people are potential taxpayers if they can never get their titles to pay the taxes on their mobile home. We cannot allow someone to come in and do this type of business in Macon-Bibb and nothing is done about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Westbrook. We appreciate your service as president of the NAACP and appreciate you being here tonight to bring this to our attention. Next, Jessica Lewis also wants to talk to us about the Avalon Mobile Home Park. Ms. Lewis, you're recognized 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm actually a mobile home owner of Avalon Mobile Home Park, and I'm here tonight on the behalf of the residents there because many of them could not be here this evening to ask the government to step in. I purchased my home in April of 2015, and it took 1.5 years for me to get my title. And the way I got my title was by going to court. I literally, for 3 months, didn't pay my lot rent just so that they can take me to court and I can have the courts address the misaction on their part about not allowing me to receive my title. I went to court and they had to give me my title, but they literally waited to the very last minute and told me if I did not pay my back lot rent that they were not going to give me my title, although I paid for my mobile home in cash 1.5 years prior to. Where we stand right now is Avalon Mobile Home Park is comprised of hardworking constituents in this district who are single parents, single mothers, single fathers. They work very hard. And for me personally, I took a loan out on my 401k so that I can be a homeowner here in Bibb County. I moved here to Georgia 3 years ago in the hopes of getting a better life and starting anew so that I can be able to be thriving here. And by me coming here and purchasing that home and going through what I went through is very discouraging to me. You know, I moved from Pennsylvania where unfortunately I did experience something like that with Wells Fargo, and living here now having to go through it again as a homeowner 10 years later trying to start anew because I had to file for bankruptcy. I went through a lot to even get to where I am, to even be able to save the amount of money that I saved to purchase this home in cash. And so, like Mrs. Westbrook, I'm just asking that our community give us support, our politicians give us support, because Cook, he disappeared. The Department of Revenue disappeared. These are people who sat down in our faces and told us that everything that they're doing, John Wiles, his son, as well as the father, are doing, that they are doing improper acts. And they have not held up on their promises, and it's very unfortunate because now it's getting to the point where people just want to give up and move. I'm staying. They're not moving me out. I done paid my money. It took 1.5 years. I got my title, but there are many people who have lived there and who currently live there who are willing to give up. They even have taken homes from people who have paid cash for their properties and moved them out and re-rented those properties that were already paid for. They're doing a lot of illegal things, and unfortunately, until I came here tonight, I didn't have faith that people and constituents and politicians in the community in Bibb County even cared about us. And I'm being honest, because I never experienced something to this magnitude. It doesn't matter that he's a lawyer or ex-politician, any of that. That means nothing to me. If I paid my money, we have a contract, I expect you to give me what I paid for or what I agreed to. So we're just asking for your assistance, any help possible to kind of get some rectification. We have spoken to the owners, we have spoken to the property managers, and we have been getting a runaround like you wouldn't believe. You know, we've had long conference calls where we thought we were getting some resolution, getting some progress, and they pretty much reneged on anything that they said on that conference call just as soon as we hung up. It's very unfortunate. They're not accepting payments from the residents there, so you're now evicting people that you won't take money from. So there's people in this eviction process right now that don't have nowhere to go. They literally are about to be homeless because of the misaction of this organization and the property managers of these owners. And again, I thank you guys for hearing me out, and we need help.
Thank you. We're sorry for the problems that you're having. Appreciate your patience and appreciate you being here tonight to bring this to our attention. Finally, Mr. Robert Curry wants to talk to us about the SPLOST, the senior citizen, and poor people in general. Mr. Curry? We thank you for your patience, sir. You recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I would like to, first of all,
give Miss Lucas, for the loss of her mother, my prayers and deep sympathy, since she's not here. I'm here, Mayor, I know you can't answer back. I've been here many days, many ways, but I have a bunch of whys I want to ask. And you all can get back with me later or whenever. I want to know, Mr. Mayor, why, out of all the things that you had to do before Christmas, you evict the homeless people in the manner that you did? Where is the love? Where is your heart? Where are you all's heart? You make the body. How did you? I went the week before that, my church, Housing Missionary Baptist Church, and we went to the park and we bought clothing, we bought food, and we bought prayer. A week later, through some doing of yours, I don't know what upper echelon or rich and famous person persuaded you or what method that they used for you to uproot those people. The sheriff said he really wasn't having no tribulation with them. And you just uprooted them heartless. They low as they can go. They living on the ground, man. Now, I've been down here when you did several things, many ways and many days, but that was just unacceptable, unexcusable. You wouldn't have did a pack of dogs like that if they had been running around at the park biting at people. You would have put them in a shelter, put them with food, water. You do the people like that. I've seen the little children down there. I want you to take me hand in hand and we go down there one and work with the Pope. As quick as you uplifted them out of there, I want to see if you're going to come up with a program to help them. It's unacceptable. When people come in destitute from different hazardous, disastrous areas, you put them up. These are your people. Out of 120-some thousand people in Macon-Bibb County, nobody rescued those people. You would have rescued a pack of dogs. You know why? You gave the dog pound $3.5 million, $3.5. You gave the senior citizen 2.7, misused 400,000, knocked them back down to 2.3. Asked them what they wanted, cut the kitchen out, cut the restroom, showers out. Try to do away with the feeding program that feed the people. But I'm going to leave that alone because you know that story. If it was your child, I've been down here with these people here, the whole body. We asked for $190 million for the SPLOS. They got that. They doubled back, flim-flammers. We need $280 more million. They got that. It was asked for $200,000 for the adult literacy program. They vetoed it. They vetoed it. But they said they want it.
Mr. Kerr, you're supposed to be addressing us,
okay,
not the audience.
You the audience. Y'all the one vote. But anyway, y'all vetoed it. They asked for $200,000 for adult literacy program. You all vetoed that. And you asked, well, we need a trained workforce, we need this, we need that. Those were the poor people that fell through the cracks, Mr. Mayor, you all. Okay, we're going to get off of that because you know what you did. Okay, recreation in my area, which is District 9, Mr. Al Tillman, borders with District 5, Mr. Burke Bivens. Okay, you said we got $39 million for the SPLOS, for recreation. What you do? You build a juvenile justice center before you get it children recreation. $8 million, that's what you did, Mr. Mayor, down here, down the street. $8 million before you get a children recreation. Then you tear up all the recreation at one time. Okay. In my area, Freedom Park, we had a swimming pool. We had a gymnasium. You let the swimming pool go bust. For some reason, when you make a mistake, admit it and do better. Ain't nothing wrong with making a mistake. You put boxing in the only inside facility that the children had in Freedom Park, Bellevue area, and Botley Cross. You put boxing down to limit the usability of the gym. You had 3 gyms out here at Bloomfield. Gilliam had 2 gyms, 43 acres of land. You could have used one of those gyms. Now you had $39 million. These children have nowhere to go in the winter. But you said, come to me. Ask your commissioner. Work with your commissioner. I came to my commissioner. I came to Mr. Bibb. And I asked him, I said, how did y'all let this happen? What brainstorm did y'all come up with to put these children out? It's sad, Mr. Mayor. It is wrong. Log Cabin Drive,
Thank you, Mr. Curry.
we had $40 million from Northside Drive,
Time is
Forest Hill
expired.
Road to Pine Owner. DOT did Forest Hill Road, like Ms. Hunt said, DOT did up there by Federal Credit Union. But you come with a shyster contractor to do Log Cabin Drive. It's not right.
Thank you, Mr. Curry. Thank you,
Mr. Mayor, thank you.
thank you for being here, sir.
No problem. You know I'm coming back.
Yeah, I do. I do, and you're always welcome. We appreciate your patience, appreciate you being here with us. That brings us to the end of our agenda. Any points of personal privilege? No lights on. Can I get a motion to adjourn? We do try to maintain some order and ask people to sign in at the beginning of the, but I hear a motion to let you speak. Is there objection? You'll recognize, please, we need for you to come identify yourself, tell us who you are, and we'll be glad to hear from you, sir.
Thank you. I apologize. I was being poked and prodded and tested and everything up in Atlanta today, and I got back late. So my apologies. I hope you'll accept it. I heard just as I was walking in, it seemed almost coincidentally that I thought it was from over on this side, that if there were problems in the town, you'd like to hear about it. Don't go, getting upset about it without bringing it to your attention. So I guess that's what I'm going to try to do tonight. One of the things that's not on my list here yet is Jeffersonville Road. I heard talk on TV about funds having been appropriated for it and never got repaired. A car went through the bridge up there, not through the bridge completely, but smashed the bridge up there, has to be 6 months ago, has never gotten repaired. So I just would like to bring those to your attention. I'd like to make a complaint against the water department, which I realize is not a town entity, but I think they have way too much anonymity and power. They accused me of using 7 times the amount of water I've used over the last 4 years in 1 month. And I asked them to do 2 things for me. I asked them to have an engineer from the company that manufactures them contact me and tell me that there's no way that meter could be mistaken. And I wanted to have my meter taken apart and inspected. I've never gotten either one of those. So I just want to complain about the water company. I understand that the town is in hock, in the red, in the budget, but I'm a little upset at what's going on with the trash deal. The trash amount was raised by 33% for collection. Yes, it was. It went from $45 every quarter to $60 every quarter. That's 33%. On top of that, when I got my bill, I got it for 5 months in advance, not 4 months, 5 months in advance. And when I called the town twice, I got no callbacks when I called the department twice. I think that's an atrocity also. Next, I'm looking forward to putting a carport in my house, which is going to need to go through a variance procedure. And part of the procedure is getting the fire inspector to sign off on it. He has not called back. This is my second experience with him not calling back. Thirdly, the police, I have good things and bad things to say. Obviously, I'm only going to say the bad things tonight because I don't have time to say all the good things, because they are very good for the most part. But I had 2 things occur. Number one, I had somebody in my house who was on drugs, ripping up my house. I called the police, and I gave them the option to either arrest him or move him out right away, and they moved him out. He was on drugs. They called an ambulance down who incompetently said he wasn't. Eventually, it showed up that he was, and he got taken into a rehab center, I believe, only after his needles fell out of shoes that he had left out on my front porch. And I had to fight with the sergeant to go down and have them look at it. The sergeant said that it was Amendment 4. And I said, no, it wasn't. I said, it's right on my front porch in plain sight. It's not in his room. It's not anywhere. And I had to fight with him also to do a police report on it in case this person came back and alleged anything against me about this incident. That's number one about it. Number two, back about, it's got to be about 4 or 5 months now, I had to call because my wallet was stolen. I called in the police. I gave them the name of the person, his phone number, his email address, and his approximate location. I was told that a detective would be in touch with me. I waited a couple weeks, I heard from nobody, so I called the detective division. They told me that the police officer said it was only worth $20, so they didn't put it through the detective division. There was over $1,500 in my wallet at the time. I made an appointment with, I want to say, a major or corporal to go and have the case rewritten so that it was written up properly. I showed up for the appointment. He wasn't there. He did not even have the decency to call me and say he wasn't going to be there. So there's a very, very bad lack of communication in this town from people that we are paying that aren't doing their jobs back at us. And the last thing, I brought this up to one of the council members' attention at one time, and the feedback I got after waiting a couple weeks was, well, I already have that program. And I kind of laughed to myself because, frankly, within 100 miles of here, I'm the only one authorized by FHA to administer this program. So I know that that was baloney. I am what's called a homeowner consultant for the HUD 203K program, which is intended to rehab and utilize existing housing. And it could be anything from knocking a whole house down and just using the foundation to complete rehabs. And I'm doing several of them right now. I'm doing one actually in Perry and one here in town, over on, I can't think of the name, Famous Street, the old part of town anyway, over by Ingleside. And it's an excellent program. It's FHA rates for people that qualify, and it really has a lot of flexibility as far as what can be done with it.
Thank you very much.
See that done.
Your time has expired, but be sure to give the clerk your name and write down your name and contact information so that we can get back in touch with you.
Okay,
if we
who would
need
I
to.
see? Yep, okay, I will do that.
Thank you very much. Is there anything further to come before us? If not, can I get a motion to adjourn? Got a motion without objection? We are adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.